And we're back. Come behind you and you can see. I don't want to get in your way. I do apologise. I need a bar. I need a one. Come on, Pat. Go, Pat.
Right, okay. Things just went to a new level emotionally, so I think it's only right that I bring it down a notch. First of all, let me start by saying good evening, everyone. Welcome to the TP, or as I like to call it, the Pleasure Dome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Pat, and I guess I am the best man for the day, despite what just happened. I'm so sorry. First of all, I'd like it if we could all raise a glass to the parents for helping put all this together, and of course for raising two fine individuals, Joseph and Catherine. Also to the bridesmaids and the family who helped decorate the TP today, so to the decorators. On the subject of bridesmaids, you're all looking extremely attractive today, so congratulations. I'm told that when the groom decides on his best man, speech-making ability and organisational skills are two of the determining factors. All I can say is Joe must not have any friends. So I apologise in advance for the next uncomfortable 3 minutes. The most uncomfortable 3 minutes of Cat's evening will of course be taking place later on this evening. In the marital suite. In all seriousness, it's a great honour to be Joe's best man, especially as the first of my friends to tie the knot. I did always think it'd be one of my less intelligent friends who'd be first to get married. When Joe broke the news to me, I was more excited than he was. I told Kat to sit back and relax, and I'd take care of organising the entire wedding. I was told in no uncertain terms to get serious. Being the best man isn't all it's cracked up to be, though. You get the same nerves as the groom, only there's no one waiting for you at the end of the day in posh knickers. I, on the other hand, will be sharing a bed with Will. Give it away, Will. Okay, so, rightly or wrongly, I wasn't organising the whole wedding. I did, however, have to undertake the usual best man tasks. First of all was to help the groom dress himself. Although he's usually looking sharp, Joe's fashion sense has been described as beyond its years. My track record isn't the best either. I still remember hitting the dance floor in local nightclub Artie's in our woolen tank tops and dress shoes. At one point, our wedding outfits, like confused sailors, consisted of navy blazers and cream chinos. We had somehow convinced ourselves we looked cool. But we didn't look cool. We looked ridiculous. Credit must go to the women at this point, Kat, Amy and Liz, for telling us in no uncertain terms to get serious. My next task was to put together a stag worthy of seeing Joe off into married life. 9 weary souls set off down Barra Canal on a boat called the Fly. With only a bucket for the toilet and more gin than necessary, things were likely to get messy. Naked volleyball was played. Tears were almost shed as Joe's dad recanted the beauty of childbirth. And money was squandered in the casino. We discovered we had a couple of intense gamblers in our group, mentioning no names, Charlie. There's a bit of an initiation on the stag. Each stag was asked to tell us an embarrassing story about Joe, and although I can't repeat most of the stories, it became worrying that more than half of them involved Joe's backside. Now, Joe's known as being a bit of a lightweight when it comes to drinking, but somehow he outlasted us all this time, so well done on that one, mate. The same can't be said for his father, however. He was last seen wandering across the dance floor at 3 AM looking rather disillusioned. Traditionally, at this point, I would tell a couple of X-rated stories from mine and Joe's youth, but truth be told, we tended to stay out of trouble. There was this one time, me, Joe and Will, gives away Will, were summoned to the headmaster's office at primary school for lifting up girls' skirts. And now, although I know this to be wrong, I'm going to take to find out what actually is up there. There was also the time we pressed the button at the traffic lights and we had no intention of crossing.
Oh, risky this lad, isn't he? He's a bugger, this though.
This angered an already perturbed looking lorry driver, so we ran and hid in Summerfield's car park. And this was all on the way to the wedding. Now I must take a break from Joe and move on to the blushing bride. I'm still really sorry about that. So first of all, let me say how amazing you look today, even though I have to say that, in all seriousness, you are looking well fit. When I first met Kat, she was quiet and reserved. Some might say she was the total opposite to Joe. So far, so good, I thought. It wasn't long, however, until I began to see where Kat and Joe really hit it off. A couple brought together by complaining about everything. Now, I've only ever met two people who genuinely don't like the Beatles. As quite a big Beatles fan, I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was almost ready to pull out the wedding at this point. Joe had to bring out the big guns in order to persuade me back. Let's see. Ring, ring. My phone was ringing. Stay with me, stay with me. Still annoyed about the Beatles thing, I decided whether to answer, but I did. It was Joe. I've got news, he said. What? I asked. Guess, he replied. No, I said, just tell me. No, he replied. Yes. The conversation followed this pattern for a while, before he finally broke the news. We're having hog roast at the wedding. I was back on board. Now, there are people that tell you that marriage isn't just a word, it's a sentence. Whereas I don't necessarily agree with this statement. We all know marriage can be a bumpy ride. Catherine, there will be times when you come home from a hard day's work to find this strange man sitting in his room shorts, embarking on James Bond marathons, eating cold beans from the tin. At these times, you may ask yourself, what in God's name have I done? Well, Kat, at these times, remember the good points, and they will see you through. Let me just relay a list of Joe's finest qualities to you. Reliability. Joe is a man you can depend on. Joe is more loyal than 3 soldiers or 6 Labradors. 9 border collies. Intelligence. Imagine a world without politics teachers. The country would be at war. There'd be rioting in the streets. Consistency. Joe has had the same hair since 19 years. Money. This is a man that can really save his dosh. Joe once gave up shampoo for 3 months in order to save cash. Granted, this nearly put an early end to your relationship, but this is a guy who's willing to make a sacrifice. And finally, chivalry, or should I say soppiness. Most men wouldn't even be able to tell their woman they love them in front of their mates. Not Joe. This is a man who will shed a tear each and every time you make love. This is a man who will ring you during the World Cup final, no matter how good a game it is, just to make sure you've got home from work safely. This is a man so annoyingly in love with you that it makes me certain you'll grow old together and have an extremely happy life together. So if you can join me in raising the glass to the bride and groom, Joe and Cal.
Oh dear. Since, yeah, school, primary.